Hey guys, welcome back. It's Green Reaper coming at you from another video. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're looking after yourselves and having a fantastic start to the weekend, wherever you are, or well, the weekend's just around the corner, right? As you can see, I am feeling 50% much better after the long week I've had, and kind of looking forward to the weekend. But it was a bit of a busy weekend for me because there's quite a lot going on in real life and etc. outside of YouTube, etc. Anyway, let's get into today's video. I've been promising this. I promised this last week. My apologies. I kind of screwed it up because I ran the key for Hydra on the auto running thingy for today's video, so I had to delay it by a week. But we have got it, and I am going to follow through with it. And I want to talk about the Night Rave champion, who was a fusion recently, the Mad Hatter event. The Mad Hatter fusion. Now, I did drop a video, I think around about 2 weeks ago, on him, talking about using him in P versus P. I really like him for P versus P. He is definitely a P versus E champion. I won't deny that. I have a video talking about him here, here, talking about him in the description. It was released 8 days ago, sorry, so the video was a bit delayed from that, so it's not 2 weeks, which is not bad, right? Probably feels like 2 weeks for me. Go check it out. Really a lot of good feedback from the community. Obviously a lot of people have said he is super amazing in Hydra, put him in Reflex, in Impulse, etc. And etc. So yeah, we'll talk about him today in a couple of PvC areas, and I'll showcase him throughout. I think there's a lot of good synergy with a lot of good champions. He's definitely mainly a Hydra champion, which will be the main focus for today, but we also will look at him for Chimera and another dungeon as well, which I think could be fairly useful for a lot of people with a bit of a limited roster, should we say. So it's all about these abilities here. These abilities are absolutely amazing. It's a great passive as well. It's perfect for Hydra overall, so it is super nice. But yeah, let's get into the video and let's see what we can do, and I'll show you the Hydra run right now, and then we'll look at his builds, etc. for the Hydra run, and then we'll swap up his build for the next PvC content in today's video. So this is the team. You can see that this team is not the best teams in the world. I won't deny it. It definitely is better out there. However, it works, and it works with the auto quick battles, so I don't really care either way. He has really good synergy with Duchess because he can increase the duration of all buffs. So as long as Duchess is faster, he has really good synergy with Duchess and helps increase Duchess, increase the duration of the veils, increase attack, block buffs, and then continuous heals with that, as well as giving turn meter as well. So I could definitely drop champion like Necmo, for example, in this team, and then kind of focus maybe on the damage dealer or something. He can do some damage as well as like a quirky passive to bring in the extra damage with the person with the highest critical damage, which you could tune for someone like Mishi or Ninja or whatever. I basically using a team that is fairly good, and he has really good synergy with Mishi, because Mishi is obviously opposite affinity to him, so we're always landing Hex down, and it's always annoying when Mishi doesn't land it down at the Hex because of the weak hits. He has really good synergy with that, right? And he's also bringing a weaken for the team as well. You can see we've got Yugo in here for block buff, so you can definitely use someone like Sunwong, which is better. Sunwong's in a different team of mine, so I don't really tend to use him in this one. So that's definitely something as well. And then we have like other champions like Iron Gut, which is just in here for the provoke. Really, I could use a Krisk. No, I'm using 2 of the Krisk on other 2 teams, so he's just in here for the provoke. Enemy max HP, which is better on Brutal and Nightmare. This is a hard key, so we have really good synergy with the team. Probably Necmo doesn't really fit in this setup, but pretty solid and does pretty solid damage. So I'm gonna let this play away through. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the music. We're gonna come back and see the build that we're showcasing for this today, and we'll talk about some other interesting builds that you could do as well. Okay, so here's the damage. As you can see, it's not like super impressive damage. It's full auto. I don't have to do anything. It works with the crit battles. I'm doing just under 4 billion for Hydra Clash anyway, so obviously I'd like to get my damage up more, but without moving gear around to my best champions and manualing and stuff like that, then I don't really need to tend to worry about. I'm not really moving anything around here using Nick Mo's build from Chimera, which is pretty useful for the team, and everything else just kind of fits in this team and etc. Lydia is just still built for Arena, so it doesn't want much to this team. I can increase his damage a lot if I swap a gear around, and etc. I'm just not interested in moving gear around all the time. With Hydra, it's kind of their content towards me, and it's not so important to our clan as it used to be. It's still important to our clan, but it's not as a priority like it is a Chimera. So let me show you the build then. We are going to use this style of build. So as you can see here, we have a one piece immunity, we have a one piece reflex, and then 2 pieces of refresh. I think this is possibly his strongest build overall out of any type of build that you can do for him. And the reason is because refresh is super underrated. I think the only way that can make this build slightly better, I've had triple refresh, and refresh just works on top of these 2 abilities. Now there is other style of builds that we can do in a minute, which we'll talk about, but let's have a look at the stats. So for Hydra, we can see that Hydra is coming in with 280 to accuracy. We have 20% ignore defense. 100% critical rate is just a bonus. It is not required, so don't feel like you have to build that out. Same as the critical damage of 185. That is just a bonus. We have the blessing to help us out with that, and obviously the great halt as well. After you focus on really strong speed, so I'd focus on like 270 minimum for hard, and then as you are going up and up and up, try and pump that numbers up more so you can rotate through its turns more. And then yeah, so I would focus on the accuracy, I would focus on the speed, defense, and HP, and then everything else is just a bonus. Don't feel pressured and look at this build and be like, oh, I can't do that, Graham. Like I can't get his stats. Don't worry. Like, you're not meant to. Like, we're just showcasing this build. You can probably put him in a lot better team than I've done for sure. I could have really blown up the video today with a massive, crazy team, but it's a lot of hassle and a lot of work, and there's a lot of things that you guys can't reach. Anyway, let's have a look at the gear. We're going to run a accuracy banner with a speed substat, or you can go with survivability with defense and HP, and then go with a opposite side on the accuracy or etc. Now I don't have a max great haul on the accuracy. It's probably the only thing I haven't finished in Hydra at the moment. I've got one more level in resistance to do. But then we have attack amulet, but again, anything that has like defense or HP would be the better way to go. Even critical damage if you're starting to build damage on him. And then we just got a defense ring. He dead to just basically here for the refresh, right? Gives you a 5% chance to put a skill on cooldown. Super powerful for sure. Not a lot of people farm it now. I have it from a long time ago. I haven't really sold it because it's such solid pieces that it does work with these style of builds. So you can see here we're looking for speed boots with accuracy substat and then survivability. We've got a HP chest, a defense chest, but again, like I said, with the banner, you could go accuracy chest as well. Then we have a defense here with a really crazy critical rate roll, which I thought about selling because I didn't see any use out of it, but there you are. Then you have critical rate and speed, and then you have speed and critical rate survivability, and then you have triple critical rate with speed as well. Barely any of it is ascended or oiled or glyphed as well, so there's so much room. For the relic, I just went with Elixir of Gold because it gives us a little bit of healing if we like get blasted for any reason. There is definitely much better options out there. I would recommend the Journal of Books or whatever it's called. This will increase his healing and turn me to increase. That would be the best relic for him out of like the epics and rares for sure. And that would probably be the one I would recommend to go for. Which might be something with change in the future. For blessing, for me, it's just crushing, cruelty all day long for Hydra content. I don't feel like it's worth building Prussian Remed or anything like that, because I just don't feel like he'll get enough damage, and I don't feel like Natural Wrath, because I just don't see it. I think you just go with the cruelty and have that lead up with that thing. You could use Accuracy Aura, is pretty solid as well, so you could run like a Timid Presence if you're like really slow. For the masteries, we're going to come in with War Master, Life Drinker for extra healing, Sue, and then we're going to do Cyclone Magic, which is really important, Law of Steel, and Master Hex to have a 30% chance to put a Weaken and Hex on a 3-turn cooldown instead of a turn, 2-turn, and then just accuracy on that. So let's talk about what ideal sets that we could use on this guy if you don't have Impulse. I do understand that Impulse is probably extremely hard to get, and then I also know that a lot of people don't farm Refresh now because we just don't have enough space in the thing. I think if you're in Gold Live Arena, like Gold tier 3 vs 3, I think it's still worth picking up Refresh for this type of content. So let's talk then. Obviously, Reflex is the way to go. You could go Reflex with Merciless. Like, Merciless would be okay. The only problem with Merciless, and this is what I don't like about Merciless, is like this ability that doesn't do a hit, Merciless will not proc. So in my opinion, Merciless is just a waste. I'd rather use Merciless on a damage dealer or another type of support champion that would benefit from that Merciless. So I'm not a big fan of putting on Merciless on like champions like this or champions like Necma that don't do a hit. Merciless has to do a hit to get that cooldown. Just in case you're not aware, I've made that mistake as well before, and it was pretty annoying overall to really put that condition in. I can kind of understand though, because it's a strong set and it is free to farm from the custody. When I mean free, you don't need an energy to farm that, right? So really solid build. You could also go 4-piece Merciless and the Relentless, but again, the another thing that I have to take into consideration when you're using Relentless is you're going to get extra turns, which you're counting the turn meter up, and you're only capped at 1000. So I don't generally like Relentless in Hydra now, unless I'm not making a 1000 runs anyway, then it doesn't really matter. So it depends on your team, on your account, and on your composition as well. If you're super endgame like me, it doesn't make sense to use Relentless because you're going to get to that count a lot quicker, and it's just not the worth an investment. I'd rather just go 4-piece Relentless and then broken sets across the board to get stats that I want for sure. So that is definitely another build as well, and then you can just go the standard build would be a 4-piece Merciless. There's probably like other sets that you could probably use as well. Like I don't think I guess Provoke could be fairly useful, maybe potentially as well. Maybe a non-piece Ferald as well to increase the damage for him. That could be a really solid option if you've got a non-piece Ferald. I feel like a lot of people do have that now. As well, you could use like a 2-piece Pinpoint to get some more speed and accuracy. And I think that's probably about it. Like, I don't see any other sets in here that could really do anything. There's no point really putting Curse on, because if you put the Reflex on, he's gonna land that Hex down, and he can do that Hex job on his own, by the way, because it doesn't weaken it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because the Hex and yeah, the Hex and the Weaken is placed, and then he'll do the ally attack with that, which is pretty useful. So yeah, for me, Merciless doesn't make sense to use for that. Anyway, let's move on to the next build. We're going to change this build just slightly to run him on the next swing, because it needs to be a certain speed, and we don't care for the Relentless or Refresh, etc. And then we're going to drop him into the content for that as well. I don't want to make this video too long, so we're going to run him into Spider, and then I'll show you the Chimera team. This is the team that we're going to showcase for today. As you can see here, like super fast team. Everyone mainly has a Gina. Feel sorry for you if you don't have a Gina. Everyone can access a Marius. I know a lot of people don't have a Marius right now, but I do feel like there's more and more people who have the Marius as well. And then you can just see here we're just going to go ahead and blitz this as well, and this does the 4 turns. Now if it does within the 4 turns, that's cool, because the 4 turns is pretty useful for the achievement. So you can definitely go ahead and get the achievement badge. I'll show you the builds in a second. Let me show you the presets for this. Oh God, them pop-up messages are absolutely awful. I never use them, and they're absolutely in a way. I'd love a way to switch them off if you didn't want them to pop up. So let me go ahead and show you the presets. We're just going to open up with the Hex and the Weaken. We could use Lydia in the defense down, and you could use a defense down champion as well, like Ghostborn in this example, but we're going to use Lydia for defense down here, and then Gino's going to do his nuke, and then Marius will do his nuke. You don't want to do this one because this will add a extra turn, which would take it to a 5 turn as well. Pretty solid spider team. I'm not going to use this as a spider team because I already have a faster spider team here. Doesn't do it within 4 turns. I don't really care about the turns, if I'm honest. It's 1 turn, and my team is 11 seconds, and it's 100% as well. So I don't really care for this, if I'm being honest. So that's super useful. I show you the Lydia builds. Now you could put Lydia in Hex. Most people have her in 9-piece protection. You just want to focus on the speed. Nothing else really matters. Speed and accuracy is the only 2 that you really care about with the spider. We do have some extra speed as well. I just wanted to go before the Gina and Marius, really. Marius is in his P vs P build, so he's in a 4-piece stone skin and lethal. You can use any ignore defense in the game, which is pretty useful. So they're his stats as well. So my head is in the way, so we'll go ahead and show you that, and then let me show you Lydia again. So you can see here, pretty useful. And then you have Mad Hatter, which we would have seen as built at 2. Again, just needs to be faster than Gina and Marius. Don't know if you can use of enemy max HP champions. I guess you could try use like a Royal Guard or something. If you have a Marius, that might work. I'm not too sure if that would, because Gina's multipliers are quite high. Gina is obviously in a ignore defense set as well, which is pretty standard build for most of these people. And then yeah, pretty achievable stats, nothing crazy as well. So let's go ahead and let me change this build back so I don't forget to change Mad Hatter's build back, because I will forget, because I'm a bit of a plum sometimes for these things, and I don't want to be building this out. I've got to build the rest of my count out Lydia, and Lydia needs to be rebuilt for Hydra, which is in a Hex set. I did have to break the Hex set to kind of make this work because I wanted to show this. I know a lot of people use 9-piece. I use 9-piece for Chimera, but for most things just keep with the Hex build, so why not? Yeah, let me show you the Chimera team then. So we don't have the Chimera team run because I didn't have any keys. I would have built it up if we had some keys, but I didn't have the keys to do it, and I don't want to delay this video anymore. But you can see here on the optimizer, there is a team here which would give me like my personal best damage of Chimera. Apparently it only took 16 minutes. Don't know how accurate this is, but this was 397 million on the boss, which is pretty nice, but the trials are very low at 5. I'm doing 14. Yeah, I did 14 this week on Chimera. Yeah, I did 14 on Ultra Nightmare. I did 15 on Nightmare, which I can show you. I do have a video on the channel, so you can go ahead, check out the playlist. But this was my team for this week. You can see here, this was my Chimera. Way less damage, but I care about trials, right, because of the stuff. So you can see here I've done this. So this is the reason why I wouldn't build this team from my account. But if you don't have like cardio and stuff, this could be an option. These are the masteries that we're using on the options. You can see all the stats here. You can see the stats here. So you can see here he's using a Merciless and Reflex. I think the Impulse would be a better addition to this, to be honest. Brimstone is not a bad idea. and then we have 9-piece, 9-piece, 6-piece, and a Z set. It looks like a 6-piece and a Z set, and 1 piece of Ferald, and then 9-piece here on Oracle as well. We can show you the turns as well. You guys can go ahead and pause this and look at your own discretion if you're interested in building it. If you just care about damage, etc., that's up to you guys. For me, I'm not really interested in that. But like I said, if I'm a keys, and I would have built it just for to show you guys. So yeah, one of them ones as well. So he could definitely be used in Chimera. He's very good in the arena, which I did a video already, which will be down in the description. He's good in Hydra, which is his main face focus, and he could do a very niche role in Spider. Now, he has got a very interesting kit, and I think he'll be very good in Finite within the right team as well. Potentially that this ability could work in a Finite, and he also has a double hitter on A1. It also has a turn meter increase here as well. So I would like to think he would be fairly finer. I wouldn't say he's like the S tier of the champion there, but he could do a role there. If you're limited, I think he could definitely do a role, especially on normal as well. Overall, it's got good base stats as well. So that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys really like this. Hopefully you guys appreciate today's video. I have put a lot of effort into this, and yeah, as you honestly, hopefully you enjoyed it. As usual, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. This helps support the channel, and this allow me to carry on making you guys these useful guides to try and take your account to the next level. As usual, guys, I've been Grim. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.